to the current status of climate change and the decisions which were taken. So this was the impact of climate change as registered by the 2015. Do we know this? The Paris Climate Deal is from 2015. After 1 year, they did an assessment. Do you know that in 2016, Trump was the president of United States of America? So Trump had pulled out USA out of the Paris Climate Deal. Trump was a pro-industry, pro-development president, and he said that climate change is nothing but a hoax. Right? It is a very, yes, it's a hoax. ये आपका मन घड़ंत है, climate change जैसा कुछ नहीं होता. Now, that year, this was what was released by IPCC, that what is the impact of climate change. 2016 has been one of the hottest year compared to the pre-industrial era, where there was an increase of 1.1 degree of what the temperature of Earth was in the pre-industrial era. Do we know that in Paris Agreement, it was agreed upon to limit the temperature to 1.5 degree of the pre-industrial era? How many of you have heard of this? 1900s are considered as the industrial era or the industrial century, and it was agreed upon that we should limit the global temperature to 1.5 degree compared to the pre-industrial era. And already in the year 2016, it recorded 1.1 degree to the industrial era. Do you see that a lot of margin is not left? Second, the shrinkage of glaciers. Alpine glaciers. What are alpine glaciers? Glaciers on the mountain peaks. You either have latitudinal glaciers or you have alpine glaciers. The alpine glaciers are also continuously decreasing or shrinking. Third is the species which are affected. Nearly 19% of the total species are currently threatened by climate change. That means one-fifth of the species of the world are currently threatened due to climate change. Next issue was sea level rise. How much? 3.3 mm per year. 3.3 mm per year rise of sea level is being registered 25 to 30% faster from this period, which is 2004 to 2015, compared to 1993 to 2004. Compared to 1993 to 2004, the speed of sea level rise was 25 to 30% faster. Next is the ice sheet loss, that is latitudinal ice in Antarctica. Have we come across these videos that one of the biggest glaciers of Antarctica has now become part of the ocean, has now been removed from the mainland? Antarctica is now melting. So by the summer of 2016, we had 2 million square kilometer less Antarctic ice sheet compared to 2010. And then of course the greenhouse gas effect. The next is greenhouse gas effect. In greenhouse gas effect, carbon dioxide above 400 parts per million for the first time in the year 2015, and an unexplained methane boom. Why is methane considered a bigger culprit than carbon dioxide? Why methane is more dangerous than CO2? In fact, in the COP26 you had methane pledge. Why methane is more dangerous than carbon dioxide? One, it has higher shelf life, 25 times or 20 times, right? It remains, higher shelf life means it remains in the temperature for a longer period. It has higher heating tendency as compared to carbon dioxide. So overall, methane is much more dangerous than carbon dioxide if found in higher concentrations. Methane, what are the natural sources of methane? What are the natural sources of methane? Methane pollution, agriculture, especially which culture? Paddy culture, right? Then dead organisms. So can I say decomposition? And cattle. How cattle? How cattle? Coal and gas. Coal and gas. See, coal and gas are, until and unless humans interfere, you cannot call it natural factor. Cow dung, paddy, cattle is a major factor for methane, because the gut of the cattle, cows, buffaloes, bulls, etc., in the gut a huge quantity of methane is produced. All right. So again, methane is a big factor of concern here. Then next is abnormal temperatures. For example, they have taken the example of Russia. In Russia, the mean temperature was 6 to 7 degree higher in certain regions. We are talking about a country which majority of whose part remains frozen throughout the year, and the mean temperature has been 6 to 7 degrees higher in many areas. Then extreme weather conditions, especially in Southeast Asia. Are Southeast Asia known for very disastrous tropical cyclones? You have studied cyclone, right? Heat waves in UK. See, heat waves in UK, heat dome in USA and Canada, then heat waves in fact entire Europe, right? So in Southeast Asia, you have one of the most powerful tropical cyclones. Also, there are two tectonic plates. One of the abnormality, for example, you generally have tropical cyclones in the Bay of Bengal. Arabian Sea does not have a lot of cyclones, but this, in the recent years, even Arabian Sea is experiencing cyclonic conditions. True. And in Southeast Asia, of course, because of climate change, there are more disastrous tropical cyclones. Apart from that, because of the physical setting of Southeast Asia, because of the two plates, Sunda and Australian plate, this region is also very much prone to earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. Alright. So, for example, the Java region is prone to earthquake, volcanoes, etc. So, already you have tropical cyclones. Then, due to El Nino, they also have phenomena of forest fires. That one of the major effects of El Nino is forest fires. Forest fires of Australia, of course, are very much in news. In fact, a lot of kangaroos and koalas were found dead, so much so that now koalas have become vulnerable. An animal which was found in abundance in Australia is now, the population has shrunk. Then Indonesian fires which are followed by the onset of El Nino. Next, Great Barrier Reef. What is Great Barrier Reef? It is a coral reef, one of the most extensive coral reef. So, the worst ever bleaching happened in the year 2016 in the coral reef region.